So I'm slide them. Good morning, everyone. If you did not know, I am Stevie Lang, and I want to personally welcome you to Unity Center of Des Moines this morning. For all of you that are either here in person or online, I am so grateful that you chose to spend this hour with us. Nice. And a special thank you to Chad, who is spontaneously in the sound booth. Our sound person was not here today, and we weren't sure how this was all going to work out. And then he showed up and I said, "Can you help?" And he's like, "Sure." The universe provides. If you were not already aware, I do see some new faces out there. As you came in, there's little packets that say "Welcome to Unity." You are free to take one of those back with you if you are so called. And just know that Unity Center of Des Moines is a place where we practice positive spirituality without dogma. So you just come and be yourself. And the topic today is going to be about how we honor each person's individual sovereignty and their own spiritual path. So Deb is our beautiful and multi-talented, amazing song leader today. That I'm going to put this right by your face.
Thank you.
So that people can hear your beautiful playing and singing.
And please join in with
And if
me.
you advance the slide. Right now, not yesterday or tomorrow or sometime in the future. We are free and unlimited right now. Announcements for today. What's happening next weekend? Pop quiz. Yes, Spirit Seeker Spirit. Everybody gets an A. So that is happening next Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I want to thank everyone in advance for volunteering to help set up and tear down. I have some people coming in on Thursday and some people coming in on Friday. If the times that are posted on the sheets in the community room don't work for you, let me know when you can help, because there many hands make light work. But basically what we'll have to do is clear out all the chairs that aren't going to be used for the fair. And then afterwards, we need to tear down and get things in position, because on Sunday, May 3rd, this guy over here, Greg, and I are going to be part of a production that's called A Cry for a Dream. And Kelly Boone, who she came and spoke before, she's going to speak that morning. And then at 12:30, we're going to have a production with Native American drums, Greg playing Native American flute, and we're going to tell or act out and tell the story of the condor and the eagle, the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming together in union and soaring to heights. It's a really amazing, wonderful, chill, creating story. And I hope that everybody can join us for that. If you're just hearing about it online, please come in person next Sunday, May 3rd, and do that. So all that to say, it's going to be a big weekend. So I really appreciate the help, and we're going to quickly tear down the fair. The final dress rehearsal for that production is going to be Saturday night, and then we're going to be ready to perform on Sunday. Other announcements is Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, correct? Yes. I think Deb calls it Take Care of You Tuesday because it has a nice alliteration. There's always midday noon meditation here in the sanctuary, but this coming Tuesday, there's going to be kirtan devotional chanting at 5:15, and then the full moon gong meditation at 6:30 p.m. So if you've never done one of those, or even if you have, come join and experience what that is like. The next potluck is already just in 2 weeks. I feel like it felt so far away, and now it's 2 weeks. So, and that's also Mother's Day. So if your mom is alive and you need to do something for her, or you're a husband or something, I'm just giving you a heads up. 2 weeks from today, May 10th. You can check all the events going on our calendar, unitydesmoines.com, and it also comes in the newsletter. So if you want to look at that newsletter, you can subscribe if you go to our website, unitydesmoines.com. And regardless of what you participate in, we're just glad you're here. Now it's time for the statement of faith. Again, thank you, Chad. We'll say this all together. There is only one power active in my life and in the universe, the divine source of all life and love. Next, the unity affirmation. We'll say this all together too. And as we say this, just take a breath. I'm saying that to myself, note to self. Sink into your chair. Feel the earth beneath your feet supporting you and taking care of you. As we all say together, Unity of Des Moines is a radiating center of the divine light, mighty to attract its good and to radiate good to others. And with that oneness in mind, I have a list of people who have been asked or who have asked to be part of the prayer list on Sunday. So as I read these names, connect with your divinity, who you are at your core, your love, and imagine these people living their highest good. Akira, Elena, Allie, Annabelle, Ben, Brittany, Buddhist, Carla, Seal, Chad, Daniel, Dennis, Dave, Dawn, Greg, Jody and family, JP, Julie, Laura, Matthew, Paul, Celine, Sheena, Scott, Skylar, Susan,
Terry, and people with struggles we know nothing about.
And I invite you to sink deeply into the chair and to support you as we go into a time of meditation. Gently breathe in and out, and center yourself in your heart space. And then imagine your heart connected to every heart in this room as we join the community to meditate together. Each of us acknowledging our own unique gifts, our own individual divinity and sovereignty, and seeing that in each other at the same time. Breathing in peace, calm, and relaxation. Breathing out anything no longer serving you. Enter your heart more deeply and listen for the guidance of spirit. It is always available to us. We simply have to pause and listen in the silence. And feeling that awareness of our connected hearts, we send that unconditional love to ourselves, each other, and to all beings everywhere. And we feel gratitude. Gratitude for this community, for the opportunities it provides to each of us to demonstrate giving, receiving, and being loved, living from our awakened, illuminated hearts. Gently begin to return your awareness back to this room, taking it in with all of your senses and feeling appreciation for this beautiful space that we are blessed to gather in every week. And as you go throughout your day today, know that at any time you can pause and connect with that guidance from spirit in the silence by connecting with your breath and just taking a moment and allow yourself to be guided by your heart today. Thank you, Deb.
The daily word for today is taken from Matthew chapter 5, verse 8, which says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God." Today, if someone asks me how I am, I will smile and respond, "I am blessed." This simple declaration will set the tone for the entire day, encouraging me to notice blessings, large and small, especially the little things I take for granted. I will also be mindful that God is the source of all my blessings. I find my greatest blessing is in grounding myself in God's grace. It brings me peace, calms my fears, and is a bright guiding light in dark and difficult times. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus described the blessings of life, reminding those gathered that the truest wealth is not measured in money and power. I take those words to heart and feel deeply grateful. I am spiritually blessed, enriched by God's unwavering love. The affirmation that goes along with this, I'll say it once and then if we can all say it together, is this: I am blessed with peace, calm, and the love of God. I am blessed with peace, calm, and the love of God. Dennis's phone just said, "I don't get that."
Turn my phone off.
Messages. And that I humorous.
And it went on voice and it says call of God.
Oh, I love that. I love that so hard. Oh my goodness. All right. How about we go into another congregational song?
Dennis, if you want to join us up on stage.
That was funny.
It was hilarious.
As you guys sing this chant, remember who you truly are because the words to this chant affirm who you are. I am light, I am love, I am light, I am love, I am light, I am love, I am joy, I am light, I am love, I am light, I am love, I am light, I am love, I am joy, I am light, I am love, I am light, I am light, I am joy, I Give a round of applause for Deb.
Oh my gosh. Perfect songs, Deb. I so appreciate how you put that all together. And it is a beautiful segue to introduce our speaker today. It's me. uh, Beautiful message that just leads right in. I am light and I am love. I am divine. I am God in a meat suit. The same divinity, the same power that helps the sun rise, the moon go through phases, and the flowers bloom right on time lives in me and through me in this existence on the planet. And the title that came through for this discussion today is Remembering Our Sovereignty. And what shows up for me when I think about that is how we each have free will. We each have choice in everything that we encounter. Even if we have things that we can't control, there's things outside of us. The weather is something that comes to mind when I think about things outside of our control. However, even with that, have you ever said something along the lines of, it would be really nice if the rain could hold off until, and just believed, like just held that, like imagine what that would be like and felt like that was all in balance with the universe. And then that's what happened. Am I alone in this? Because I am alone in this. I'm not alone in this. Okay, good. That's what I'm asking. I'm like, are you awake out there? Yes. Okay, good. So that, even in that, something we can't technically control. However, we still have the power of choice, how we look at it, what we choose to believe, how we choose to think about it. And we may not be able to manage the first thought that comes in, but at the point that it shows up, then we're at the point of choice. And I also think I'm speaking for the group when, as we practice certain thought patterns over and over, when we go from one thought on repeat to another thought on repeat, pretty soon that first thought fades away. We have it less and less. But anytime it shows up, we still have the choice and we still have the tools to choose what we're going to do about it, whether we're going to think it on repeat or whether we're going to replace it. The third principle in the 5 principles of spiritual living from Unity is this: human beings create their experiences by the activity of their thinking,
everything in the manifest realm, some people call it 3D, but this little world that we're living in, everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. Our thoughts lead to our beliefs and our emotions. And those beliefs and emotions create our experiences, create how we interact with the world. And I can give a personal example for today. It was 10:15, and it was only Deb, Dennis, and I here. That's a little late for only Deb, Dennis, and I to be here. And I knew there were some people, they'd even texted me and be like, I'm sorry, I can't be there tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, thank you for letting me know. So I knew some people were not going to be here, but still, and we're just like, well, okay then. We even sang Que Sera, Sera to ourselves a little bit. But in my inner world, I thought, you know what? Whoever shows up today is meant to be here today. I'm speaking from my heart whenever I'm up here. So if someone resonates with my heart, then they will be here. And if they're not here, they'll be able to watch it later online. And the technology is going to work. Oh, that was the other thing. We didn't have a sound person this morning. And I had known from these rehearsals that we've been doing that it is possible to set the sound, have the mics, but I couldn't do the slides by myself. And this is everyday life for me, but it just happened this morning, so it's very fresh. My thought with that was an answer will appear. Pure faith, an answer will appear. And I did think, Deb and I discussed it, there are some logistical ways that I could do a complicated, somewhat stressful, like, please stand by, let me run up the stairs, get my cardio in. Or talk to me, there were some ways that's like, okay, I have a plan. But I was also believing that a better solution that didn't depend just on me in my meat suit would appear. Blah. And in walked somebody, and I mean, I really didn't even know. Obviously, you heard me. I was in the office trying to get my mic on because I didn't think about the dress that I'm wearing today, didn't have a place for the mic. So I'm like, okay, an answer will appear. That is a core belief. An answer will appear when I need it. If there's a base belief that I may share because it's worked so well in my life, it's that an answer will appear when I need it. So if I don't have an answer, it doesn't mean it's not coming. It just means I don't need it right now. Okay? So I'm in and the Deb's like, we can hear you. And I'm like, I know. And I come out here and I'm like, okay, who's going to help me with sound? And I look around and someone jumps out and I say, hey, can I put you on the spot? Sure. Can you help me with sound? Sure. And isn't he doing a fantastic job? Like, no, I was like, here's this button and here's this button.
20+ years experience in this realm.
20+ years. Thank you.
This is case in point. 20+ years experience. Walk in. I need help. I mean, he's come before, but the fact that he's here today. Okay, chat. I'm going to put you on the spot again. When did you decide to come here this morning?
Probably within the last hour and a half.
Can we have a round of applause just to like reinforce?
That's the intention. I was going to get answers that I needed today coming here.
Wow.
I have chills. Oh my goodness, I have head to toe chills. Okay, so this is real. This is not like in a book, reading it from someone else's experience, doing what I think I should do or feel how I think I should feel from somebody else. This is like real world, two human beings having a human experience and their intentions meeting in synchronicity, meeting in frequency, which is not something that we need to worry about or try to force. It naturally happens. Yes, you have a.
This is like amazing.
Hold on, let me get your mic. Because something else that oops, it was already. Oops.
It was, I,
Actually, can you read it? Because I don't have my glasses.
maybe, because I don't have glasses either. Okay.
That is priceless for today.
Okay, so Linda is cleaning and putting away papers. Throwing away, not just putting away, but throwing away, discarding, releasing, letting go. And what shows up for her is Matthew 6:27, which read, "Can any of you by worrying add a single hour to your life?" And how did that show up?
Oh, it was in, I've always kept saying since I was a little girl. And I've always kept sayings. My grandma kept them. And so if I hear something from you, I write it down and I'm just deciding what I need to keep and what I don't. And that came up yesterday and it's so perfect. It was on my phone and it's like perfect for today.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And also believe that the word God can get tricky because it can mean, it does mean, and not can mean, it does mean, it does resonate differently with different people. And some people are very certain that they know the definition. And bless them, I'm so happy for you. I love that for you. That is not me. I believe that it is your own experience and that we are God in flesh. That's my experience. And with that, that means every other person is God in flesh. So the answers that I need come from somebody thinking, I'm going to get the answers I need today. Somebody doing their regular life stuff, cleaning out papers, tossing things, and something shows up. P.S. That is one of my favorite Bible verses because right around that time, it talks about the sparrows and how the sparrows always have enough to eat and they don't stress about it. And when I'm out in nature, I have a very special connection with the white-throated sparrow, which has stripes on its head and a little white, or not white, a little yellow patch behind its neck, and then white throat, which is different from a crown sparrow. I digress. There's about 30 different kinds of sparrows that come through Iowa at different times of the year, but that specific one has a beautiful song, very challenging to catch it on a recording. They don't stay still very long. They blend in, they're bush dwellers, but yet I see them. They just like, wherever they are, I'm like, there's one right there. And I was sharing this with a dear friend of mine, and she's like, I didn't even know that was a bird. And I'm like, well, I see them. And they're like, I have been watching birds for 30 years and I've never seen that. We see what we need to see when we need to see it. And all of that to say, the scripture ties in with my frequency, my vibration. And this is where our sovereignty comes in, because sometimes we're having a life experience that we don't think we want. And we have a choice if we find ourselves in that circumstance to look at what is the blessing and what is the lesson. Because no matter what happens, my experience has been, I choose to believe, put this cloak on if it fits for you. Everything has a lesson and a blessing. I made it rhyme on purpose, but blessing and a lesson in it somewhere. I also had another conversation in the past couple weeks with someone I deeply respect who was talking about pain being a quality of God. Now, part of me was like, what? However, I've been practicing getting curious about things that seem in opposition to what I believe. Just curiosity. We don't, there's no reason to be threatened by anything else that exists because it can just be. God of the Bible, the weather, the planet, like things just keep happening. It's all about how we want to interact with it.
So I've chosen to get curious if someone is presenting an alternate view or something that I feel is in conflict with my belief system. So as I got deeper into this conversation of why, I said, tell me about that. What makes you say that pain is a part of God? And he said, well, in all the parables of the Bible and in my own life, pain has led to awakening. Pain has led to a deeper understanding. Pain has led to resiliency and strength. And then I went, oh, huh. Because I have experience with weightlifting, and you do not get stronger by doing what's easy or comfortable. You get stronger by being uncomfortable, and there's a sweet spot where if you go too far outside of your current ability level, it leads to injury. So it's finding the sweet spot where you have just enough, just beyond where you currently are, that you have resistance and it's challenging, and your muscle fibers actually tear a little bit, but then they heal. And when they heal, they're stronger. And then that weight that used to be hard and used to feel sore after lifting it is now suddenly not hard anymore. So I thought, wow, I had that experience, and here's this person in front of me. And then I reflect back on my own life at how the most challenging times I've ever been through in my life led to my deepest spiritual understandings. They made me spiritually strong because I learned that I didn't actually I didn't implode from having a child with special needs or going through a divorce multiple times or family estrangement or loss of a job. I can have a big list of things. Every single one of those things, looking back now, I see everyone in that scenario was doing the best they could with what they had at that period of time. And I had something to learn from it. And so that's how I look at challenges today. Or that's how, this morning, it was another opportunity to practice my belief system, which is, again, the answer I need appears when I need it. And whoever is supposed to be here that can resonate with my heart message today will hear it. And then I don't have to be worried. I can let go of worry. I can turn that worry over. Circling back to remembering our sovereignty, remembering my sovereignty, remembering your sovereignty, and that we all have choice. That comes back to another conversation I had this week, which is about when we want to pray for other people. One point is the person themselves may have a reason for what they're going through. Even though we're looking at it and it can feel uncomfortable to witness someone facing a disease or facing some kind of life challenge that feels super uncomfortable for us to witness. Oftentimes what I've seen for myself and also other people that are asked about prayers is I want them to be different so I can be more comfortable. So in that scenario, if someone has not, we absolutely ask, do you want prayers? That's their sovereignty. Do they want prayers? And if they say yes, what is your desired outcome? What do you want for your life? Because trust me, I have worked harder for other people's healing than they ever worked for themselves. And when I got real honest about it, it was because I was uncomfortable. And I wanted them to be different, so I felt better. And let me tell you, that is not a recommended strategy. 0 out of 5 stars. Because what it brings is suffering for me. The person I'm so desperately trying to heal stays the same if they don't get worse.
And I fall into this abyss disconnected from my sense of source, divinity, power of choice, because I'm so entranced and involved and entangled in what they have going on. And when I realized I might actually be blocking their awakening in trying to help, then I was like, oh man, that's not what I want to do. So I just invite you to think about your own life, think about your own experience. I can feel it that there's people here or that will hear this message later that are worried about someone else. So if someone comes to your mind when I ask about you worry about someone else, this is the message for you. Work on your own consciousness. Work on your own beliefs that the answers you need will appear when you need them. And think about them as their own sovereign being on their own chosen path, and offer a listening ear within your capacity, because that's part of knowing our limits. Just because someone has a need and needs to talk does not mean we have the capacity to show up for them in that moment. But to your capacity, show up for other people, just listening, and think thoughts of their own sovereignty. How every experience has a lesson and a blessing. Again, not something to tell them, because the worst thing to tell somebody actually going through something, well, everything has a lesson and a lesson. That's not helpful. That's not helpful at all. But we can choose that as we're going through it. And I can talk about it in a general sense. They've written it in books. And I can speak for my own experience in person. That has been my experience. I'm not telling anyone else what to do. What I'm saying is that each person has their own choice. And just like with weight training, if you try to go from here, let's say 5 pounds is the most you can curl, and you try to pick up a 40-pound weight and curl, you're either not going to be able to lift it or you're going to hurt yourself. That does not mean you are not capable of ever lifting or curling a 40-pound weight. It just means you don't go from 5 to 40. You have 7.5, 10, 12.5, right? You work your way up. And sometimes it's practicing the little lessons, the little opportunities to practice unconditional love and acceptance and honoring other people's sovereignty in small, what may seem like insignificant ways, in very tiny choices, like whether you come here this morning or not, is an example. Everyone's got their own sovereignty. If you don't want to come, then don't come. And if you want to come, I'm very glad you're here. Either way, it's good. Something else I was reminded of is the scripture that says, each one must carry their own load. And then a little bit later, it says, we must help each other with our burdens. The difference between a load and a burden is a load is what we're personally responsible for. A burden is something beyond that's too heavy to handle by ourselves. This morning, trying to manage doing slides and meeting mics and song leading and a celebration assist, like that was a burden. Even if I could have somehow stumbled through all that, it would have been too much. So the universe, the universal law, God, source, provides the help from whatever form to get it all done, so I don't have to have that burden alone. But I'm still responsible for my own load. And so that's the thing when you're worried about someone else, and I am feeling someone in the audience right now.
It's very hard to watch a loved one, especially a parent with history, to go through a painful death journey. However, death is a part of life. If we can't live, if we can't die, then we were never living. So, each person in their own sovereignty has choices on what that death journey looks like, the same as they had choices in thriving in their younger years as growing up. In that end of life section, we have choice. And what those people need, and I know this from being there, doing hospice care, CNA work, I know this from talking with people, family members that have been there for their loved ones. There is nothing you can do to rush the process. And just like with your own load versus a burden, there's a portion that's your own load. Because there's stuff to work through, especially if someone's reaching end of life. There's unresolved business that needs to get addressed before they can actually pass on and let go. So you can do your best to address your part of whatever that is. And you can do your best within your capacity to listen to them, share their stories, to work through their stuff. But it is absolutely acceptable, normal, okay to have a point at which it becomes a burden. And it's more than your own load. And that's when it's time to open yourself up, if you choose, to help from the God outside of ourselves that's in and through everyone else in the world, everything, because that's principle one, that God is all good and in everyone and everything. So to let other people, expected and unexpected sources, help with that burden. But if we clutch to the struggle, we will get more struggle. The key to the cage is knowing we can let go. That we can take that backpack of rocks and we can give it to God, universe, source, what makes the sun rise and set, the moon go through phases, and the flowers bloom right on time. And we can say, this bag of rocks is not my load. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to turn it over. And then I'm going to believe and know that each person is on their own sovereign path. And any discomfort that I feel usually is because of a wound in me that I haven't healed yet. And it is so much easier to focus on everybody else's wounds than to feel my own. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but I'm seeing some head nods. So that's where my focus can return to. Take off the heavy backpack of the burden, show up for people with unconditional love to the best of our ability in the moment, listen with our capacity to truly hear, not to solve, fix, be more devoted to their healing and comfort than they are, to allow, and then to work on our own wounds, our own healing, feeling our own feelings and processing so that it can be lifted. And go back, if we choose, to that core belief that God is absolute good everywhere, in everything, and I am part of it. I feel complete. Does anyone feel like something came up that they would like to share? Because if something's coming up, yeah. Yep, ding, ding, ding.
I was like, somebody's got something to say. It's on. You didn't? Oh, I thought you raised your hand. Okay. That's okay.
But I could say yay.
Because I did.
Say yay.
Okay, I must have.
Well, that was interesting.
Ah, that was interesting.
I have a little thing that I do in my mind. Everybody has cars usually and they have flat tires.
Yeah.
I look forward daily to having a flat tire.
Oh.
I look forward daily to having a flat tire and the journey of how nice it would be to have to change it. And because of that, I've hardly ever had any flat tires.
There's a good one.
Case in point, have anybody had the experience that you take your umbrella so it won't rain? Yeah, you've had months? Yep, done it. No. Oh, you're just coming up with all, okay. Does anyone else have something they would like to share? Okay, thank you for sharing that, Dennis. And without oversharing on behalf of you, Dennis has some experience with health things where someone else tells him it's gonna be a certain way, and he says, oh, no, it's not. And marching on, right? Okay, so he knows what he's talking about.
All right, now, thank you, everyone. If you want to clap, that'd be good. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Now, if you would like to share your resources with the Unity Center of Des Moines, oh, sorry, here's your mic. You have an opportunity to do so. We are going to pass a basket around if you have either a cash or check, but there's also ways to donate via Venmo or Zelle. If you are here in person, there's a little QR code in the basket, and there's also one on the purple table in the entryway there. Also, if you're joining us online, our Venmo handle at Unity-Des Moines is right there. We so appreciate your contributions because it makes it possible for us to keep the lights on and host all the variety of events that we have here all the time. But regardless of what your contributions are, whether they are of a physical, energetic, or spiritual in nature, we want to offer the affirmation up on screen. Say this all together. I am infinitely abundant. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I thankfully acknowledge the divine source. And we've got Dennis here with special music.
This will be that's up kind of loud. That's the red mic. There, that's better, maybe. And then the guitar is into the right by door channel. This is an old song that talks kind of about shelter, whether it can be a cave or a teepee or a tent or a home. But it was done by one of the leaders of the first ever boy bands in the 60s. And it's been dear to me since I heard it when I was probably in grade school. So we're going to give it a try. I don't know if I can sing it because it's kind of a high song. There's this place where I can go and tell my secrets to in my in my room. In this room, I give up all my worries, and I in my fear, in my room, in my room, in my you my screaming and my scheming, lie awake and pray. You my crying and my sighing, laugh at yesterday. Now it's dark and I'm alone. I won't be afraid in my in my in my in.
Well, Dennis, thank you so much. And you did a great job singing that. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for your offering to everyone. Thank you for blessing it. I would like to dedicate this offering to do the work of spirit and truth through the people of Unity Center of Des Moines. And we are grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. And now I'd like to invite everyone to point their attention over to Deb here, who's going to lead us through the universal greeting of peace. If you're not already standing, I invite you to stand up and follow along with the words and hand motions.
I offer you peace.
I offer you peace.
I offer you love.
I offer you love.
I offer you friendship.
I offer you friendship.
I see your beauty.
I see you.
I hear your needs.
I hear your needs.
I feel your feelings.
I feel your feelings.
My wisdom flows from the higher source,
My wisdom flows from higher source.
and I salute that source in you. Let us work together for unity and love.
Let us together for unity and love.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Deb. Okay, that concludes our service for today. I'd like to invite everyone to make a great big circle around the room. It's really nice if we can make a complete circle. If you don't want to hold hands, if you've had sniffles recently or something, you can put your hands over your heart. Maybe come in a little closer if you guys can, so we can all be connected. We got time. Come up closer, Lee. And then you guys, Jamie, come, yeah. We just need to make a little. Actually, could you guys come down to the center? I mean, you all fit. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. You didn't even come that far. Yeah, I think we can. There we go. Just there we go. We got it. Okay. I just want to be all connected because we are all connected and I feel it. So thanks for coming up. All right. Now we're ready, Deb. Please, let it begin with me. Let there be peace, peace meant to be. With all that's freedom, fill all our need. Let us walk with each other in harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With others never take. Let this be my joyous now. To take each other, to live each other, to peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth. The light of the divine surrounds us.
The love of the divine enfolds us. The power of the divine protects us. The presence of the divine watches over us. Wherever we are, the divine is. And all is well. Thank you, everyone. Couple notes. 2 rows of 6 chairs in the back. All the other chairs are on the wall. I'm not sure. Is anyone doing healing hands in the back today? Our regulars are not here, but that's okay. If people want coffee, there's a single serve coffee maker. If we run out of that, we could make a pot, but lots of people bring their own coffee. And otherwise, I hope to see everybody next week. Have a great week, everybody. April showers bring May flowers.
Hey,